Yeah.
So,
Welcome to Online Marketing Rockstars.
yeah, last print day they had the photo booth. So this is a picture from print day last year. But I'm Mike Zahorik with Print Americas, and I'm here with my old friend Ingo.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I run developer community at Adobe for Adobe Express and Creative Cloud. And we have been colleagues for 14 years or so.
Yeah, at least.
He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
at Adobe much longer, but I started a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
collaborated a lot on InDesign, InDesign automation, working with partners like Print. And this is where we are today.
Yep. So I think this is exciting times, and I'm not even talking about politics in the U.S. Uh, but what's going on with these new tools? And we have been able to do deep automation and integration with InDesign. Uh, the way InDesign was architected was highly extensible. So we have all kinds of plugins, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But now with Express, it's the next generation of tools. Maybe some of you were upstairs and saw Samia, hello Samia, talking about Canva and Express. But it's an interesting time where you have digital native, web native tools, and we're going to talk a little bit about how we see points of integration. But we have a couple of questions.
Yeah. First, the question Mike just had. Who joined Simia's presentation just before this one? Okay, a few of you. And this is just interesting also to see a little bit who's in the room. Who of you is using Creative Cloud in your company? Okay, Mike, how much is this? 90%?
Yeah.
95%? So what I do here, we do this presentation, of course, in Adobe Express. And this is also just to demo a little bit. One of the cool features, we can build charts and infographics, and this is a simple one, so let's say, well, 96, 95% perhaps here. How many of you are working with Creative Cloud apps individually? Like, are you using Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator in your day-to-day work? This is, perhaps 55 or so percent. How many, and when it comes to Express, not sure who knows about Express, but who is using already Adobe Express personally? 3%. And then probably, if only 3% use it on a personally base, how many of you use Adobe Express in the company already as a tool? Oh, 2% perhaps. So don't take these values for granted, but it's just to get an idea on who is in the room and what's the knowledge about this technology. Yes, as Mike mentioned, Adobe Creative Cloud is still the gold standard for what we call the C pros, so the creative professionals, to build any kind of design. And InDesign, Illustrator are for sure two of those who are most used in your industry, and InDesign had been extensible by scripts and plugins since many, many years and was built from ground to be extensible. When InDesign shipped, I think it shipped with 150 internal plugins in the first version already. So it always was thought as an extensible platform. And you can automate it by grab, data merge, or on larger scale with InDesign Server, which again is, what you all know, a big part of the business from Print to use these tools and functionalities to help you automate on scale. And Horst Huber was one of those pioneers who really committed early on building for InDesign and then building tools that can scale. We also see now the rise of generative AI, and this is coming to our products. We will hear a little bit over the next few minutes. InDesign has text to image, but stuff also like auto style or generative expand, which is really totally helpful in your layout work. But also we see AI coming through plugins to InDesign, and there's one that I want to call out in a bit. And similar to Illustrator, Illustrator is extendable. Print is using this for the Comet platform, which is a good example for what plugins are. So plugins normally either connect our Creative Cloud tools to other systems, like through the Comet plugin, You get access to the PIM system, the DEM system, the pricing system for the data that you want to design. But then also plugins can help automate tasks, what again the Comma does. It's the layout engine behind it, or it just speeds up processes that you can do manually in those tools, but now can save a lot of time. Or sometimes they also introduce new features. And then for print, we also have the Illustrator Tables plugin. And Mike, why is this important?
Well, we have some customers using Illustrator for comment, just connecting to data. But we also knew that Illustrator has no table capabilities. It's nothing like InDesign in that area. So we have a plugin that is available to anyone who is a customer of Print Suite that will help you create tables. We have a short little start of a video.
Let's have a look into this.
Hello and welcome. Today, I want to show you the new plugin from Print that allows you to create and edit tables in Adobe Illustrator. Let's get started. Here, I have a layout that needs some tables added. This new plugin gives us some new panels, which you can see here. Now, if you've ever used Adobe InDesign's table tools, these should feel very familiar to you. We have table styles, cell styles, and here we have a table overview. So what I want to do is to create a table underneath this first paragraph here. So I'll use my Create Table button. I can modify the number of rows. I can add header or footer rows, and then I can just drag out the table in the space I want it. From here, I can go on to style it how I want, but if you've already created styles, you can simply select your table and apply the style. Now my style is almost finished, but I do need to style the header row. So let's go and create a header row style. From the Cell Styles panel, I can create a new cell style, double-click to edit, and here I'm going to call this Green Header. I can control all of the attributes of the cell style in this panel, but right now I'm concerned with the strokes and fills. So I'm going to change my strokes to none. I'm going to change the fill to this green here and hit OK. So now we have to go and make sure that this header style is applied through the table style. In order to do that, we need to edit the green table style definition. And here, we are going to change our header rows to that new style I just created, green header, and hit OK. So now you can see that the header has been applied, and we are free to fill it with data. Instead, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to delete that guy.
Okay,
What I want to do.
She's now talking much more about in detail how this works. It's unbelievable that Illustrator does not offer tables, but thanks to partners like Print, we can do this now. And as you have seen, this looks like just a native integration. So this is a great example of a plugin, and it's still in beta, but customers can reach out to you or to other Print partners here to get access to this. I called out two other plugins in the beginning that use generative AI, and we see a lot of new plugins coming to our marketplace, but also getting shipped or sold or distributed outside of our marketplace with new features. It's always worth looking out to what's coming. And just those two, IC Import, for example, they are around since a while. They allow you to import articles from WordPress to InDesign. And of course, if you do this, what happens? You write an article in WordPress just focused on the content. If you then put it into InDesign, the content is still fine, but it does not fit to the layout. So you may happen to have over text or under text. And this is always a tedious work to do, to then go into, find someone who is able or to knows the text and add a row or deletes a few words. Why don't ask ChatGPT to do this? They integrated with ChatGPT and just said, well, fit the text to the text frame, that's it, done, and it's quite secure since it's not that you want them to ask a new text where they can hallucinate. It's really just a few words, that's fine. And Mate is a new plugin for Illustrator, and it's coming to InDesign as well soon from a plugin developer called Eugen Pflüger, Plugisto. He uses a lot of AI within Illustrator, and it's fascinating. I really would recommend you to look at this. They have a website, a lot of YouTube videos. You can type into the plugin panel what you want Illustrator to do. like what they should build or arrange or adjust from the design. You can create scripts for Illustrator just by typing into the Gen AI panel, and then you get the JavaScript code. Or also it helps with writing inside of Illustrator, translating text, or improving your grammar. So really cool ideas that come to InDesign, Illustrator, and others. We have just released a new photo model for DVA, so the video products that we have, and Photoshop, of course, is full of very great features that really help you design. And what does it mean when I say help you to design? Of course, we can also generate an image from a prompt, so you can create your own kind of fantasy landscape and whatnot. But sometimes when you really do your work or you design your catalogs or sales material, you are not into building new landscapes and completely new images from scratch. You want to have your approved images or the assets that you have done or created in the marketing. But look at this. If I want to take this picture and put it in my design as a portrait, but my design really asks for a landscape image, I can use something like Generative Expand and really just say, this should be the new dimension of this image, and just give me the rest of the image that was missing at the moment. And to show you this, how this works, you can go easily to Firefly, adobe.com. Firefly is the Adobe Gen AI model. And you see here on this separate website all the things that we can do, and this is what is integrated into our products, like text to image, generative fill, where you can change the pullover of this guy easily or add new stuff to this thing. You can generate a template like tell Express to create the invitation for the next birthday party, generate a vector, which is great. So not only an image. In Illustrator, you can say, generate me this, what I prompt to you, as a vector file. And you can recolor existing vector images with new color sets on print, text effects, and more. And here, for example, we see Generative Expand. Depending on the internet, we will see if this is working or not. Yeah, here, for example. So we have this image of a tiger. I could add to this image. I could subtract to this image. Or I just could just expand. When I say expand, come on. When I say expand, I just can expand the image or the dimension of the image to what I need for my design. And this is what you can do in InDesign directly. So I can say, this is how I would need this image of the tiger. I have this image already, but now I just ask Adobe Firefly, generate the rest of the image for me. And this will just take a few seconds, and then we get a couple of variations. And it takes some more seconds, and here we go. We have the image as you think the photographer or the designer has created it, and it totally fits into my layout. If you go to Adobe Express, you also find all these generative tools directly. You can go to Generative AI here, and then you can try and generate an image from scratch, insert an object to an image, create a template, and more. So, Mia mentioned this in her presentation as well. We also have quick actions. Sometimes you just want to do a creative task, which is just one ask that you have, like remove this background, convert this JPEG to a PNG, shorten this video, or resize this video from a landscape to a portrait video. We have quick actions that you can also find in Express or in the Creative Cloud desktop app, and it's as easy as just dragging and dropping your image file or your video file to this one quick action, and then get the result back from it. Give it a try. And we even integrated generative AI to Acrobat. So I just opened the program from Print Day, and first I asked, tell me, what is Mike Zahorik talking at Print Day about? And it easily found me what he is talking about, mentioned when and where he is talking about. And here I just asked, what is this conference all about? And I really did get a quite interesting summary for the conference, which perhaps may attract me to build or to buy a ticket. And of course, we mentioned ChatGPT. They have now custom apps, and you can find Adobe Express GPT there as well, which allows you again to generate a template, like really say, oh, I want to invite 20 people at Christmas, which is coming up soon. Don't forget to buy your presents early on. And then here, Express can help you build the invitation for that. We talked a lot of AI, and I know there's a lot of discussions in the industry going around, and we have those who totally love it and try to do everything with AI. We have the others, they hate it, and they fear this is taking away their jobs. And also it's a question like, what are these models trained on, and do they steal stuff? This is what we do. We really try to build an AI that is a tool for and not a replacement of human creativity. We want to build this into the products to help you design better and faster, like what you just saw with Generative Expand, for example. We make generative AI tools specifically for creative needs, use cases, and workflows, and our aim is to be clear about what we do and do not do to differentiate our approach from much of the broader industry. There's a URL here. You can't read it for sure, but I can share this separately, where you see all the whole statement. And what is important, and it didn't show on this slide, is really, we don't use your data to train any models. This is your data, not ours. We are not interested. The data that we have trained our model on is data that is either copyright-free or that we have access to, like Adobe Stock, where we have the rights, and we already compensate our creators for this. So we already had a payout to the creators from Adobe Stock for that we use their images for AI. And with that also, our AI is commercially safe. So you can build stuff with Firefly and use this commercially in your products. For enterprise customers, we even take over the identification for that. But let's jump to Express and see what this is all about.
Welcome to the future. Let's go, let's get it. Won't stop, we just beginning. Came here, one goal to win it. Fight them right to the finish. Let's go, we on it. Toss people, power running. Our lives on this, just watch. Bet you can't guess what's coming next. Get ready, get ready, get ready, alright. We on that next level. That next level.
Okay, we saw at the beginning that 3 or 4% of you are on that next level already. Welcome. And for the others, you have time over lunch to look at this. Adobe Express is a free tool, or you can start to use it free. I will share a little bit more about other features that we have for premium customers or Teams enterprise customers, and everyone who has a Creative Cloud account. We saw 90% of you use Adobe Creative Cloud. Everyone who has a Creative Cloud All Apps plan has Adobe Express Premium for free as well, which is important to know. And then, of course, when we started this a couple of years back, this was really more for the private usage. But we wanted to make this a really business-relevant product, and we introduced Adobe Express for Business earlier this year, which is not a separate product, but which means that we introduced a lot of features that are business-relevant and critical. So Adobe Express at all is an all-in-one content creation app for business with a lot of AI support if you want, and you can quickly make on-brand visuals like images, videos, PDFs, or social posts, and even have an end-to-end workflow like post these posts directly from Express if you want. And with Adobe Express for Business, we really think you can reimagine the way teams work and how you work together with other stakeholders and collaborators in your company. So again, Express is not replacing Creative Cloud. We still want the creative pros to focus on InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator, and build their designs over there that are then approved for your branded campaigns. But they may hand over them in a good way to other people in marketing, sales, or internal communications, or as Simea would call it, the knowledge workers, Wissensarbeiter. And then the marketing, they could build social media banners, animations, videos. The sales could build presentations like what you see here is a presentation in Express, documents, and other stuff. And this is also what we see. Everyone is a creator today. Not only that, I brought these examples, you want to create your birthday invitation card, but you run perhaps social campaigns for your business. You post on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on Instagram about some offerings of your companies or what you do. And so if you look at a large company, you may have 100 creatives, but you have much more people who are in marketing or marketers or just other employees in different positions that may have a need to express themselves. And if you think of creating marketing content for your company, what are the elements that you would need? I would think of first of good design that needs to be on brand in many variations and personalized. Are there other aspects that would come to your mind? Is this most relevant, perhaps? Okay. Let's look how this would work then in Express. We can skip this here.
Creatives work hard to keep up with the ever-growing demands for personalized content. To help meet this demand, organizations can use Adobe Express to empower regional marketers to generate self-serve content so creatives can spend more time on strategic tasks. For example, let's start with a new global campaign that regional markets need to customize for their markets. The Creative Studio can create hero assets for the campaign using critical everyday apps like Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator. The Creative Studio can share permission-based style kits, which saves significant time and energy producing branded content while still retaining creative control. In this example, we want to limit users to only have access to edit the prompt, which they'll use for social post backgrounds. Once ready, the Creative Studio can open their files in Adobe Express and convert their files into templates for others to use. They can do lightweight editing, add animations, and identify elements to lock to give guardrails to the regional content marketers to ensure their brand compliance. They can then publish on-brand templates and share their templates as part of a brand library. When a content marketer has a new project, they can open a specific campaign library and select a template that works for their needs. They can then choose and configure the parts they're allowed to change, such as text. Here, the template was limited to only allow them to change from a specified set of product images. When marketers select a layer that uses Firefly, such as the background, they're required to use a specific style kit to generate new background images from a text prompt to ensure generated images keep the brand look and feel. Using Translate, marketers can translate text into 46 different languages in an instant to capture a larger audience. They can then be scheduled to share on social media sites directly in Adobe Express. Or they can save to platforms such as Adobe Experience Manager Assets or other cloud storage. Adobe Express helps scale content creation with the confidence of brand consistency.
So this is exactly what you can do with Adobe Express for Business. And just to recap, they built the main assets for this campaign in Photoshop or Illustrator. They created a template, and the designers decided what should be adjustable or changeable from the marketing team. Like they said, you only can choose from one of those 4 buttons that we created. And then they said, you can be very creative with the background, but also here, we as a design team and responsible brand, we decided on a style kit. So regardless of the brand, you saw that the image looked in a similar way. So it was brand conform. And then, of course, you saw Translate, which is great. You get a broad range of variations. I would never approve the German version that you see here. But this is also where we then need partners like Priint. Since you don't want Google Translate to translate your campaigns, you may connect to your PIM system again to get the right translation. And then in the end, they quickly said, you can share this. So what is inbuilt in Express is you can say, if I build this campaign here, I talk about those different, not the different bottles, but probably the different flavors that are in these different colored bottles. You can start and say, I share the blue flavor on Monday this week to LinkedIn and Twitter and TikTok. I share the red flavor next week on Monday at the same time, again to LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok, and so on. And you just do this directly in Express, and you can have a caption and all that, have your accounts, multiple accounts connected. And then they also said you can share it with Google Drive, Dropbox, and whatnot. Like if you want to share this to your stakeholders, if you are the agency, and give this back to your clients. And these are very popular storage add-ons. But again, in a business context, you probably don't use these simple storage connectors. You rather work with a DEM or anything else. So we have connections to multiple DEMs through, for example, the iHub add-on, which is also available in Creative Cloud. And now this is a world premiere where we introduce another Adobe Express add-on. And it's back to you, Mike.
Yes, so 1 minute here. Emmanuel, my colleague, is going to come up and show you this, but we have a add-on in beta. So in the world of Express, they're called add-ons, but you know, we really wanted to take one of the pillars of Print Suite and apply it to Express. We're looking at other tools as well, but basically be able to bring the content sources that are already connected for InDesign from Pub Server and make them available within Express. So you'll see in the demo some of this, but I think the other part, playing off of what you just saw in the video, is be able to automate the creation of renditions. So looking at a template, applying different product data to the template. It could even apply translations that are already in your PIM system. So with that, why don't I have Emmanuel give you a look?
Hello. I'm very glad to be here. My name is Emmanuel Infante. I'm working for Print Americas. You can refer to me as a Mexican Print Americas guy. But anyway, really quickly, I want to show you what the development team has been working on lately, and is about an add-on for Adobe Express. So I'm just quickly going to go ahead and open the template section on Adobe Express to start a new file. And the main thing here is that I want to make sure that all my data is linked to a print server connection. So how am I going to do this? So I'm going to go to the add-ons panel here, and I'm going to select the Data Connect panel. And here, as you can see, I have all the same structure from a print server. So what I want to do is update all my content. And I can do this real quickly. Just a second.
So Emmanuel built this design in Express as a template, like we saw in this earlier video. The design team would build this to make sure it's working on. And now the communication person connects to Print and gets the data in it.
That's right. It took me a second, but I'm right here. So I'm going to select which is my main product that I want to work off with. And I'm going to just go ahead and select that. And right now, I can see from the print server to the Adobe Express file, and I can go ahead, select, and see that this image is going to be related to my document. So I can just update that. I can do that same thing with the text, and for example, the plant name, I want to update this. It's important to say that this is a beta add-on, so it's still work in progress, but any information or questions that you might have, you can go ahead and contact us. We're here to help.
Yep.
You showed here the integration with the. Okay. You just showed the integration. My name is Dirk Grunewald, by the way, from Digital Consulting House. You just showed the integration with the print server. What about the integration with Print Cloud?
We have not gotten to that point yet with Print Cloud. It's in mind, but we really need some people using this and giving us feedback. All right. So yes, let's talk afterwards. But I think we're really interested in having people test this. And if you already have Print Suite, it'll work. Print Cloud is another story. We'll talk about that. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Good. Well,
Yeah.
you can see it's already posted on the Twitter account. And this is great for, like, again, marketing team that just want to create something that's already existing in the print server and just publish it on social media. So that's me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Manuel.
So Mike, how do people get access to this?
Well, come talk to us after the session, or you can contact us later. But yeah, we're really trying to apply the principles of Print Suite, our hashtag no more copy paste. You know, we don't want marketers copying and pasting or keyboarding any of this content. We want to automate content creation. There's some other things with Express like bulk content create that we'll show or reference in a minute. So yeah, this is kind of a new area, but I think, again, we can really leverage what we're building for the print and PDF channel with Print Suite. So let's see. Yeah, so I think we've already said this. If you want to test any of this, just come see us after the session.
Okay,
Back to you, Ingo.
cool. And so I think this is a really great example, and especially since it looked so simple, and since you all are familiar with the Print Suite products, so this connects to a DAM system, a PIM system, could be a pricing system. So a lot of information that is getting together, and also, of course, you would not like to build your 2,000-page catalog in that way, but for the social post, it's great. But you could also build a separate design for different customer segments, perhaps, and create a flyer, or if you have an offering, bring back these few products that you want to hand over to them, stuff like that. Yeah.
One other question, what about the creation of HTML snippets, which you could use as content on your website?
This is a very good question and could be a very great add-on. We have just some add-ons working on HTML output from Express. They are more focused on newsletter content, for example, but this could be something else where you say, I just need an HTML dump that I want to have on my website. You can share whatever design you have. Like, we use this presentation, so as a normal presentation, we can co-edit. I work together with Mike and Emmanuel on this in real time. I can invite others to look, but I can also just share it on the web. Even a small design like this one, the one flower or a cactus that you had, you could share as a link, and of course also include it as an embedded to your website if you want. So there are multiple options. And what I want to show here is really, this is the surface from Express. You see a lot of things that you can make with it. If you use it in an enterprise context, so in my Adobe account, I see one row showing the Adobe corporate template, some other templates from Adobe that I can use, where stuff again is locked, that I can't change and I can change. But I want to go to this add-ons here. And so we rebuilt Adobe Express on a new platform just last year. We announced Adobe Express add-on marketplace and the developer platform at Max last year, which was in November. And now we already have 135 add-ons live today. You can go to add-ons and you can find some featured add-ons, collections that give you some ideas about AI-powered social media add-ons, design elements, and much more. And you can always click on them and get a better idea what they do. And if you want to use them, just say add. They add the add-on, you can open it, and you can then see this here in the add-on panel, and you can start using it. Some of them require separate payment or login. This is all explained. And then you see here, we see the priint add-on as well that Emmanuel just demonstrated. You see the small lock system on it, since, as we heard, this is in development. So what you can do, one is you can use all these add-ons that are live. We have a lot of integrations. If you have a special request like you just said and say, hey, I would need to export this in this and this special format of HTML, you could also find a developer and ask them to build them. They can ship this or produce this add-on and distribute this publicly. We even have a fund for design for new cool ideas where we can help new designers get some money to build this. You can build this in a company and then you share it on a private basis like we did here. This is why the lock is. But you can also say, I want an add-on that is only relevant or should only be visible within my company since I require a specific workflow. So you can do the same. Everybody in your company or your stakeholders can use it and others would not be able to find it in the marketplace.
So which technology platform is it? What kind of programming languages?
So we call this Adobe Web Extensibility, and this is very easy to use. Oh yeah, you have, let me see. I wanted to show this on my computer, but I did not get access to it. Since you have not opened this up, I have let's do this here. We just created a developer playground, so I don't want to change any settings on Manuel's account. But it looks like this. So you can just open up the developer account in your account, and then you can go to My Add-ons and start the developer playground. So with this playground, you can enter JavaScript code. You get sample codes in here. This one is a sample saying create a rectangle. So you take this sample. You see a new plugin panel get created, and you can click on it and see how it works or what it does. And with that, you can easily start building your add-on. And then there are some more tools. You have a good documentation about this, where you then really make this an add-on package and send it also for review to our review team to then go live on the marketplace. So everyone who's familiar with JavaScript can easily get started. I think we are already at time, and since we are between you and the lunch, we should not go too much more. I still wanted to show one add-on idea, which I think is very great. It's called Attention Insight. It's also a plugin that is available in Photoshop and InDesign. And this helps you really to find out where do my customers, the users, have their attention on my design. So you get a feedback how they use your design, how your design translates to action, and then you can start improving this. Let's see how this works. See design through the eyes of your users. So you build a design, and you use the panel and say, create me a heat map or a focus map, and you see what is it that people see in the first place. And then you can add a layer and say, what is the main message here? I want that they are aware that this is happening in June 18. So this is my main call to action. You can add this. You see it's not working perfectly. You build a new design, and you can easily find out, did you improve the visibility of your call to action in your design? So this is also something that is great for marketers if you build these campaigns just to figure out how can I improve this quickly with very simple steps to make this visible. There's much more, also AI generated music, AI avatars, connection to data storage and all that. just go and look at the Adobe Express Marketplace. I have a few links here that I would recommend you to look at. Let's get to the end of this presentation. So if you go to Express, you can see all the add-ons. I just showed this. There's the Adobe Fund for Design for developers with some new ideas to build add-ons for. I would recommend for you all to look at Adobe Max. So if you want to get some sun, join us in Miami Beach. For sure, a good opportunity. But otherwise, the keynotes and a lot of sessions will be available online for free. And you will see a lot of product innovation coming in October.
And we will be there as well. We have a booth at Adobe Max.
And I don't want to sell anything, but still it's important for me to call this out. So as mentioned earlier, you can get started for free. You have Adobe Express as part of your Creative Cloud membership as well in the premium version. We even now have a Teams version. What you saw earlier, like locking templates or locking functionality templates, stuff like that, only makes sense when I work as a team. So this is available in the Teams version. And we have an offer running until end of month where you get this for less than €5 if you buy 2 seats for 3 years, whatnot. Have a look at this. Most of you, as you said, you're working with Creative Cloud anyways, should also have access to this. Anything else, Mike, that you would like to add?
No, I think we've covered a lot, and this is a good time to break, let people ask questions, come see us individually, or find us around here. But we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and hope you all become rock stars like us. This, by the way, as a last message, the image was taken at the photo booth last year, and I created those other images within a minute or so with what we call style reference. So not only can I create an image like create marketing rock stars playing the guitar with crazy hats, but I upload this one image I have as a reference, and I said, I want to have this as a reference either for the style, which means colors and other things, or for the composition of it. And I have a slider like how much should the style be the same or just similar. And with that, you can do fun stuff like this, but you can also do very creative stuff with designs or elements or products that you have to apply them a different flavor. With that, guten Appetit.